Okay, welcome back everyone to our second lecture on Christian marriage and family. Any questions from what we've gone through so far?
No, sir.
Okay, no questions. So that was the second challenge. We talked about divorce and remarriage. Third is the death of a spouse, right? So that's another challenge. Sometimes, don't know what age, at what stage, but if a spouse suddenly passes away, what do you do? You know, so again, there's no one answer to this, and all kinds of situations. But we need to help people through it. Yeah, I remember. I think at APC, in our first year, there was a young couple. They had a little boy who must be just 1 year old, I think. They were coming to APC. And suddenly the husband had some brain hemorrhage. He was in the hospital for maybe 2 weeks, maximum 3 weeks, passed away. So sudden. So they, a young couple, must have been married, I think, 2-3 years. Young child, both young people, but suddenly this happened. Husband, again, young, very young person, passed away. So what to do? How to help? It's a shock. Yeah, so we have to help them journey through it. We let the wife work for the church because the husband was working, but now he's gone. So we gave her a job, and sorry, not the church. She was working for the company, so we gave her a job in the company. She was working, but she was also part of the church, and she started some ministry and all. But then, at some point, she got married again, and now they're all fine, doing fine. She's fine, and the family, everything. So that's the journey she took in that case. So, but it was very unexpected, very painful. So like this, there could be so many different scenarios, where there's the death of a spouse. You have to help people through that. Especially if it's very young couple, it's very sad. When something happens suddenly and they lose husband or wife or goes away, it's very difficult. Now, in cases where a woman becomes a widow, the Bible also gives us instruction here in 1 Timothy chapter 5. So this is on page 128 about taking care of widows. But in this case, it's talking about older widows. For younger widows, Paul is saying it's better they get married and have a home and a family. But older widows, but he has given some conditions. First, he says, let their own family take care of them first. So if somebody becomes a widow, it is the responsibility of their own family to take care of them, rather than making the church take care of them. Right? But only in the case where they don't have family and the widow has actually served well. She's been serving in the church. Then let the church help in taking care of these kinds of widows. Those who don't have anybody to help, family to help, and also they have been serving the church well. Right? So there are some criteria here of how the church is supposed to help widows who are older. Younger widows, he says, is better for them to get married and settle down. So in the case of death, number 4, in the case of death and remarriage, the Bible is very clear that this is something we should support and help people through. If a husband dies or the wife passes away, whoever's left is fine. It's good. It's fine for them to get married and establish a home and so on. So we help them, and support them in doing this, death and remarriage. Right. So those are just some of the challenging situations that in marriage and family context that we would face, people would face, and we need to help them. And it's not all, like I said, there are all these other things like financial things and unexpected things that happen, and we have to journey through that. In today's world, for example, there are some families who are going through difficult times because of what has happened globally. Right now, I think I know at least about 2 families where they'd gone to the US hoping for a better life, but then now all these visa change and all these problems that are happening, they've had to leave and come back. So for them, it's a very difficult thing because they were planning to build a life there, uprooted from here, went there. It didn't work out there. They were there for some time, maybe a couple of years. Now, suddenly things have all changed. They have to move back. And that's a very unsettling thing, very difficult. And it can impact the home, the family, the marriage. So that's another scenario. I'm just giving, so we have to help people work through all kinds of things that happen in life. We have to support them, encourage them, help them through it. Yeah. Okay, any questions? Overcoming life's challenges. Okay, we have to help them. All right. Let's go to lesson 12, which is pressing forward by releasing the past. So here we want to deal with, or we want to address how to overcome emotional wounds, hurts that have come in the marriage because of the marriage. Or in some cases, it may have happened before. But our focus is that if a person is carrying emotional wounds, hurts, which may have happened sometimes before the marriage, sometimes it's happened in the marriage. Right? Maybe the way the husband or the wife have been talking to each other or doing something, they've been hurt. Or sometimes the hurts happen before also. Before they get married, sometime in childhood or whatever. These hurts and wounds, emotional hurts, which cannot be seen. You can't see. If you see a cut, you can put a band-aid. But these are hurts and wounds you can't see. It is inside. And if it is brought into the marriage or it happens in the marriage, it can affect the marriage. It can affect the whole family, children, everyone. So how to release the past. How to release the past emotionally. You're talking about emotional, right? So just talk a little bit about this. If a spouse has been abusive, violent, and obviously it is not just a physical thing. Emotionally, the other person is being affected. That could be something. How can this person move forward in life? Again, I'm not. Sometimes it may be for remarriage. Okay, let's say a person has been unfaithful. Their spouse has been unfaithful. Divorces happen. Now they want to get ready for remarriage, starting again. How to release the past? Because in their minds, they may not say it, but in their minds, what if it happens again? Happened once. I married some man. I trusted him, especially if it's a Christian in a believer context. He was a believer, everything, and this happened. Back of the mind, what if it happens again? So that they're coming now with a little bit more fear, maybe being unsure, so on. I'm just giving one scenario. But like there's so many scenarios where life experience causes hurt. And how can we help these people move forward, right? So the hurt and the pain from your own spouse could come through criticism, angry words, other actions, and it can leave the person emotionally scarred. How do we help them? Whether they're in their marriage or preparing for a future, we look to God as a restorer, right? Psalm 23:3 says, He restores my soul. So God can heal. God can restore. I'm not saying common, but one scenario would be husband or wife, whoever, where the other person has lost trust because they've not kept their word. They've lied. After some time, the other person has lost complete trust because they're seeing a pattern. My wife is always lying like this. Where you went? I went to buy groceries. Actually, she went to see the movie. Then he finds out, hey, you actually went to see a movie with your friends. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I was afraid, so I told I went to buy groceries or something. One time, okay. But something like that happens again. Husband will lose full trust. But that lack of trust, now husband is thinking, even when she does right, question mark. Because he's lost trust. What to do? So all kinds of scenarios are there where there is emotional problems in the marriage. But what we say is, look, God can restore. Whatever your hurt, whatever your fear, whatever your anxiety, whatever your pain, God can heal and God can restore. Okay? And God can turn things around. Psalm 30:11-12, He can turn our mourning into dancing. He can give us gladness for our sorrow. Isaiah 61, He's a God who comforts those who mourn. Verse 2, He gives beauty for ashes. That's verse 3. Top of page 131, He gives joy for mourning, garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. So God is there to, to turn things around emotionally, right? But what are some biblical principles we can help people with or point them to in order to be able to release the past and to move forward into the future. First of all, we talk about the power of forgiveness, right? When somebody, maybe your spouse or someone else, has offended you, hurt you, what can you do? Well, you can forgive, because forgiveness is not saying that never happened, that incident never happened, or that experience never happened. But forgiveness is saying, I'm releasing the offender and the pain of the offense. I'm putting it behind. I'm not going to let that continue to affect me. I'm not denying that it happens. Somebody may have hurt you or done wrong things to you. I'm not saying it didn't happen. But when you forgive, you're saying, okay, I'm releasing that person. And I'm releasing the pain of whatever happens. I'm not going to carry it inside. But if we are carrying unforgiveness, that means we are seeking some sort of compensation. We're seeking some sort of retribution. Like, I need to get back even with that person. That may never happen. Or it cannot happen sometimes. If the person was wrong to you, maybe he died. Or the person who's wronged you is gone somewhere. How can you get any compensation or retribution for what has happened? So then that person, you just carry unforgiveness in your heart all the time. It's not good. Right? So forgiveness is so important. It's for our own good that we have to forgive the person. Release it so that you're not carrying the pain with you. Right? So the Bible does tell us, 1 John 2:9-11, that, look, if we carry hate in our heart, verse 11 says, he who hates his brother is in darkness and walks in darkness. So that unforgiveness, that hate, actually blinds us. It's not doing anything to the other person. It's blinding us. You're walking in darkness. And you don't know where you're going. It's like hate has blinded you. You can't see the future. It affects our lives. Right? So Jesus told us very clearly, in Luke 17:3-4, to forgive. Your brother sins, correct him. If he repents, forgive him. Right? So you're releasing forgiveness, and you don't hold on to their action, their whatever they've done. Right? Along with that, we encourage people to forget. Right? The power of forgetting. That means don't keep on bringing it back to your minds. Yes, it happens. We're not saying it didn't happen. Somebody has hurt you, somebody has been unfaithful, somebody has betrayed, whatever. But you forget. Let it go. Don't keep bringing it back to your mind or going over and over it again. It's not good. Right? So you forgive, forget, leave it. Right? Just like what God does to our sins. When God forgives, He doesn't say, see, I've forgiven you, but I've kept it in my record. When you come to heaven, I'll show you everything. It's not like that. When He forgives, He wipes everything clean. That means I'm not even remembering it. He's not keeping a record of it. Right? So to forget means you're not keeping a record of the wrong. You're not going to keep repeating. And next, we also have to let go. Right? We let go of the past if you want to move into the future. See, like example, when you're driving a car, you cannot be looking at the rear view mirror and going forward. The rear view mirror shows what is at the back. If you want to go forward, you need to see front. Some people are living life looking in the rear view mirror. Oh, this happened to me 2 years ago. This happened 5 years ago. Always looking back. Then it will crash. you'll end up you won't go forward, or you'll end up crashing somewhere. So we cannot live life looking always at the past. Yeah, of course, you glance at the rearview mirror, so you kind of learn lessons from the past. That's okay. We all have to learn from the past. But we don't live looking at the past. We have to look forward. So we tell them, look, what has happened has happened. You cannot change it. Somebody has hurt you. Somebody has done things to you. You cannot change what has happened, but you can let it go and look forward. Learn from the mistakes, learn from what happened, but look forward. Right? So you forgive, you forget, let go. Don't keep calling it back, remembering it, repeating it. The Bible tells us here in Hebrews 12, verse 15, Hebrews 12:15. God, against turning back from the grace of God, let no one become like a bitter plant that grows up and causes many troubles with its poison. So don't become bitter. A bitter person has not forgiven, forgotten, or let go. It's bitter in the heart. See that person, I will. Why? What good is it when you're bitter against somebody else? So a bitter person, it says, don't become like a bitter plant. It grows up, it troubles everybody else. It's like a poison. The bitterness in our heart becomes like a poison to other people because we keep talking, telling. It's like you're spreading poison. So release. And this is where we need to ask God to help. It's not easy. It's not easy. Sometimes I've sat with people where they say in the beginning, I can never forgive the person. Straight they say, they did like this, I can never forgive. They're speaking from pain, from hurt at that moment, right? Which is true. Yeah, they've been so hurt, they've been so pained by their spouse or whoever has wronged them. Cannot forgive. Now they are believers. They're believers. They've heard all the sermons on forgiveness. It's not like they don't know. But the pain of the experience, the pain of what they have gone through is so real. That is what they feel. I cannot forgive. What has happened? And that is where slowly you have to work through. Hey, look at how God has forgiven us. Right? So we also have to forgive. Bible tells us, as Christ forgave you, so also forgive. Now, how much has Christ forgiven us? We have to forgive like that. So we have to help them understand. See, this is not just chapter and verse. You have to practice it in this situation now. Right? Yes, what has happened is real. Somebody has been unfaithful. Somebody has betrayed. Somebody has done this. But you have to forgive. Forget. Let go. Move forward. To help them through those situations. The other thing that we can help them do is see the other as Christ sees them. So this is bottom of page 132. See the other person as Christ. How does Christ see us? We were all in sin. We were all in darkness. We were all in the mighty pit. But He brought us up. He cleaned us. And He sees us as His own. He has made us His own righteousness. He sees us like that. He has made us accepted in the beloved. He has brought us as His sons and daughters. So if God can do that, then with His help, let us do that for others. See them as Christ sees them. So that's part of forgiving. We're not saying the other person never did this or the other person never caused the hurt and pain, but we are now seeing, we're learning to forgive, forget, let go, and see the other person as as God sees them. So, example. Suppose two people are married and they've had all kinds of things, difficult times in marriage. During their difficult times, they called each other names, called each other everything they did. Then they come for help. Now, again, here there are many different scenarios. Some scenario I've seen is, and this is strange sometimes, where the wife, no matter what the husband has done, she's so accepting of him. That is one extreme, which is quite surprising. The husband has done this, that, he's done so many things. But still the wife is very forgiving, very accepting. One extreme. Other extreme is cannot handle. So again, in real life, there are so many scenarios. It's not so easy. It's not so simple. People are different. Sometimes I've had to tell people, see, you accept the husband will never change. He's gone like this. So, but anyway, the point is, you'll get all kinds of scenarios. And so what I wanted to say was, suppose all this has happened. Now they're rebuilding their marriage. They've gone through a very difficult time. Now they're rebuilding. But inside the wife, or it could be the other way, the husband, all these negative emotions are there. Why? Because maybe for 5 years, so many years, they've had a very difficult relationship. Now they're slowly getting better. But inside they think, oh, she said like this to me. He said like this to me. When? 5 years ago, 10 years ago, like that, when they were having difficulties. So this is where all what we are talking about, we help them. Forgive, forget, let go. Don't repeat. Suppose there's a little problem. Don't say, hey, 5 years ago, you told me, you called me like this. No, it should be, you should let go. Why repeat that? Because if you repeat it now, that problem comes back into the present. You're pulling that problem from whatever, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. You're bringing it back into your life now. So don't. You are forgiven. You see the other person now for who they are. What has God worked in their life? See them as Christ sees them. That's important. Right? Because we're going through a process of change as they work through their marriage. Okay? A couple of more points here. Top of page, this is page 133. Speak positive, right? Declare the positive in the face of negative. Acknowledge the good things. Speak healing. Speak wholeness. Declare God's word over your own mind. When those negative thoughts come, when those negative emotions come, you declare, what God is doing in you, rather than just speaking it out. Declare healing, and remember that God makes all things new. Right? God will turn things around. God will turn our sadness into joy. So we encourage them to have that faith. Okay. Any questions? Any thoughts? Yeah. This is just an outline. This is not like a complete answer to everybody's problems, because each situation is quite different. But there will be this time when there'll be times when you have to work with people, when God is doing something in them to help them, overcome the past, to release the hurt, to overcome the negative emotions. Any questions? Online students, any questions? Any scenarios?
No, sir.
All right. Question? Okay. I think we'll stop here for today. And we will continue with lesson number 13 next week and cover some more. So we should be done in another, I think, two classes, two days. Then we should be done. Okay, let's pause here. Thank you, everyone. We'll connect again next week. Take things forward.
Thank you, sir.